So I have been thinking about the passage of time lately. The passage of time. What do we do when the time is passing us by and we are ever so slowly trying to motivate ourselves against something that we can't really control, and that is the passage of time. How the time just floats and everybody gloats about the things they do on social media. How we don't really take care of the things we should take care. The ones we love. The things we share. You know how it's not easy to really realize what to do, what to say. And that sometimes life is just not easy to live, you know? Sometimes we don't know how precious life is, how precious our health is, until we lose it. I mean, I spent so many years trying to recover from surgeries, from all the terrible things that happened, that I was like, God, please help me. I promise that if I survive these things, I will be more careful with my health. I will be more careful with what I do. And guess what? Somehow I did survive it, even though I had some things left, some health troubles. But I wasn't as, wasn't as helpful as I thought I could be with myself. I wasn't as careful as I thought I could be with myself, you know? God, it feels like sometimes when you feel really bad, when you're in a hospital bed, you just want life to end, you know? You want your suffering to end, so you pray to God, God, please don't make me suffer. If this is the end of the road for me, please take my life without making me suffer too much. And then when you start recovering, you pray that you recover faster. And then when you get back to sort of normal life, where your health is pretty much okay, then you just forget those things. You go back to your life, whatever was that really gave you pleasure. In my case, it was watching Netflix and, just documentaries and spy movies, where I would imagine that I was a spy in a different life. Just anything that takes away my imagination, or late in the night, porn sites, just like anybody else, I guess. Just imagining things, imagining worlds, how things would be different if I was a different person. Those kind of thoughts. And I've been thinking a lot about death recently, because of my mother. I'm trying to take care of her as much as I can, but she's in such bad shape. Some days she can't get out of the bed, and her blood count is really low, and it's just a very difficult situation of old age and not taking care of oneself. And I'm telling myself, how is it possible that when we are healthy, we don't care about health, but it's only when we lose it that suddenly health becomes the most important thing in our life. Like when you're healthy, you have a billion problems in your head, but health is not one of them. But when you're sick, you have only one single problem in your head, and that is your health. So that dilemma just drives me crazy. It keeps me up at night. Why is it like this? Why do we take such things for granted until we lose them? Or such people, for that matter, granted until we lose them? What happens when we don't understand the value of some things or some people in our lives? And why don't we know that health, for example, is so important and we have to work for it? Eat healthy, do exercise. And we think maybe people think that dying is easy, but dying is not easy. It's really not easy. I know. I've been there, and I wished for it for so long. It didn't come. The game was not over for me. But wishing you are dead is easy. Wishing your pain to stop, your health problems to stop, your worries, financial worries, health worries, whatever your worries are in your life, that happens easy. But life is just like that. It's just you cling on to life for some reason. Suffering is easier, but ending the game, dying is not easy. So guys, this is just something I wanted to say, just for people who are thinking about what to do in life, what should be important, and how our life should be, created. We, as humans, I guess, are thrill seekers, pleasure seekers. Adrenaline and serotonin, kissing someone creates serotonin. Eating a burger creates serotonin. Masturbating creates serotonin. Just daydreaming creates serotonin. You dream about something bad happening to someone who has harmed you, who broke your heart, and that dream makes you feel good, just that moment of imagining that something was to happen to them. Sort of like a vengeance in your imagination. But death is such an enigma, such a closed door. It is the one thing with birth, one of the two things I think which will 100% definitely will happen to all the human beings. We are all born and we will all die one day, right? But we don't know what happens after we die. Science shows us that pretty much we rot in the earth. We are food to bugs. So we go back to nature. But then there's the question of soul, the question of all those religious books that came throughout the years, and the most updated version being the latest book, which is the Quran. And if you read that book, then the most updated version, then you have a totally different understanding of death, where there's heaven and hell after life, and there are things written in that book that we can do to try to have a journey towards heaven, as opposed to remaining in hell for much longer. That's completely different dimension. I mean, I admire people actually who live according to the religious books, sort of like the discipline they have. they follow things in that book. They must be so content, so peaceful, because they are ready for the afterlife. They are ready for death. But for those of us who have no clue or don't want to have a clue, death is an enigma. And I don't know. I mean, when we die, the thing that really frightens me, I guess, more than dying, maybe dying, I'm afraid of it on an unconscious level, is what happens when you have a difficulty to die, when you suffer, when you're in a bed, when you're paralyzed for 10 years. And I mean, when I was in hospital for years, there were people next to the rooms. They were there for much longer than me. Some of them partially paralyzed, some of them so many problems that they can't leave the hospital. And I lived and I saw that suffering. And I said, my God, this must be the worst thing in the world. And how old people cannot hold their pee. They have to wear Pampers like babies. They forget who they are. They have Alzheimer's. They can't eat anymore. They have to have tubes to feed them. I mean, you just become, as you get old, this baby, yeah, once again, a baby who's in need of constant care of others. And you're lucky when you're a baby, because hopefully you have a mom and a dad who take care of you and they really care for you. But when you're a baby in your elderly stage, who's going to take care of you? Your kids? Well, I'm trying to take care of my mom, but there's only so much I can do. And in our country, in Turkey, the elderly homes, right, where elderly people go to spend the remaining days of their life, the care there is not good at all. I mean, the food that they give them, the doctors, the caretakers, it's not like in good facilities in the U.S., in Florida or in wherever in the world, or in Switzerland, I would imagine, or in France, where they have much better elderly care resorts, facilities, elderly homes. But in Turkey, that's a big trouble. I guess if I was starting life over again, I would definitely create a very nice elderly home, which would be a guarantee for me, because I'm all alone in life. I don't have a spouse or children. So that means that it will be up to me to try to take care of myself when I'm old, which sucks, because that requires, a lot of prayers. I mean, I don't know what shape I will be in. I'm now 50. 20 years down the road, when I'm 70, or 30 years down the road, where my mother is now almost 80, when I will be 80, what shape will I be in? When I won't be able to hold my pee or remember who I am or what I'm doing, who's going to take care of me? Will I have enough money to afford a old people's home, even though the care is not great? Still, at least it's a place where you are taken care of, but that requires a lot of money too. Or hiring a nurse slash housemate slash cook slash cleaner. A good caretaker also requires a lot of money. So all these things are questions that really, really intrigue my life. I watch Netflix or YouTube to forget about those questions, but then they're always in the back burner because of the things that I'm living, right? I lived through the hospital suffering, through health problems, and now my mother, I see getting old. I see death, which is right around the corner, but that corner could be 1 year out, or it could be 5 years out. And this could mean 5 years of horrible suffering, of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, of peeing, of falling down and breaking your legs. I mean, those fears don't go away. And I don't know. It's just very, very hard to try to be at peace with death, understand that we're all going to die someday, and that that it's just there for all of us. And the irony is that most people, many of us, know these things, that we need to take care of our health, we need to exercise, eat well, wholesome food, and do intermittent fasting and maybe keto diet and daily walks. And most of us don't do it. We don't do it, guys. Why? Why? Do we look forward to suffering before dying? Or what's wrong with us, right? As humans. I don't know. I just don't know. So, yep, this is just something that is just occupying my mind. I just wanted to let you know. Okie dokie. See ya. Bye.